It's out. Season 3.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this penultimate episode of Stick It Out, Season 3, the show where we stick it out with now four Rush songs that maybe we didn't give a chance or didn't like that much before, but we had to stick it out for 2 weeks, listen to it a bunch of times, and see if our opinion changes at all. We are on our second to last song of this season. So without further ado, Rob, tell us what song you've been listening to for the past 2 weeks, what you thought of it then, and what you think now.
I have Spindrift,
Chose
and
none other than chose none other by me.
sorry, Tal chose me Spindrift, and I'm warming up to it for sure. Absolutely. I got to see them perform this tune on the Snakes and Arrows tour, and I don't know why it didn't really hit me as hard seeing it on that tour. Because the tour was amazing. I mean, that was the last tour of Rush that I actually got to see was that tour. I missed everything else after that. I saw it twice, two different locations, and they played the song, of course, and it's also on the Snakes and Arrows live DVD, which I watched. And also, our own Jim Benner is doing a song discussion on this very song. So I got to read a little bit of what he thought about the tune, and some things about it, like the fake endings on the song. I really appreciated being that I've done a deeper listen to it and had the lyrics with me as per the other songs that I was checking out. I want to kind of have those lyrics in front of me and kind of read them and see what if I was missing anything. Why am I not catching on to the tune? Just like the other songs that I didn't care for as much. Having those lyrics, seeing the live performances, recalling my experiencing the song live, really kind of solidified everything. And then, of course, Neil's take on this weather report type of a sentiment in the song. And he also included that on his website when he had the website, news and weather and sports. So there's a lot of little things that kind of grew on me and made me enjoy the song more this time than previous listening experiences. So I really warmed up to the song and I just like the message. And that's the thing too. I think once I got further into the lyrics, the message was a little bit more resonant, a little more potent for me. So I really appreciated where he was coming from and just the way he structures his lyrics is that sort of again that thematic, that visual component to the lyrics that you can see, the waves breaking and then the way the tops of the waves kind of blow apart because now there's something stronger coming in. There's a stronger force coming in on that wave to pull it apart. And then he brings it on shore with the sand. And in that, the wind kicks up because it's like a force from the east. And the sand kicks up. So that sort of running theme, how he structures his lyrics became something also too that I really appreciated with this song. So there's a lot of the musical, the thematic parts, and the way he structures the lyrics really kind of pulled me into the song much deeper. So long story long, I have flipped on my opinion of the song and I totally dig it. And I'm glad I stuck it out because I have a bigger appreciation for the song. So there you have it.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Tal.
Would you say that this is your favorite of the songs you've stuck it out with so far?
Uh, you know, I think the fact that I did those different routines with the song, having the lyrics, watching more of in addition to listening to it, watching the live performances, I think it's right up there. I think it's definitely I probably would say it's probably top of the list right now of the songs that I chose that I actually enjoy a lot more than I did previous. So yeah.
Awesome. It's a great song. I'm sure we're all glad to hear it. So, Tal, what you got for us?
All right, so I had none other than Driven. If you watched the last episode, you'd remember that this was the first song that I got that I already had a preconceived opinion of. The first three I barely knew. This one I did and just never was able to get into just because of how heavy and synth-free and lacking, to me, it just sort of lacked a purpose. I to me, it seemed like filler on Test for Echo. Yeah, it's a lot of people's favorite on the album. I never really understood. So I still went in with an open mind, and I do most of my sticking it out in the car, and this one is very appropriate because the song is called Driven. So I listen to the song a lot while driving. Um, And I'm just going to say right off the bat, I still don't think it's phenomenal, but I like it more. I definitely like it more. I got to, I think, 21 listens. I gave it one extra after I got my 20 for good luck or whatever. Musically, I still think it's more bland than other Rush songs, but certain parts get to me now, especially the after Getty's little bass break when the guitar kicks back in. Da, 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 da. Then the driven in, driven to the edge, driven out on the thin end of the wedge. That part, that one, that's a nice. It's a nice variation because I find the song overall pretty repetitive. And as you guys know, I said this with a Necromancer. I'm not very into repetitive tunes. I like songs with variations throughout, different parts, key changes, things like that. Like I'm into that. Marathons. My favorite Rush song has a key change, and that instrumental part that is totally different from the rest of the song. So I like that kind of thing. So I'm glad that this song here, Driven, does have that part in the end. But then after, it's in the middle, sorry. But then after that, it sort of gets back to that same alternating between, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. From 14-8 to 15-8, that same part. And then it's my turn to drive. It's my turn to drive. So maybe if they were able to add one more different section, I would have liked it more. But it's not bad. I think all the instruments sound pretty good. There's a little bit of synth I caught when they go into the "It's my turn to drive" for that second time. So that has a little bit of ambience, and I like that. Definitely. Lyrics, I mentioned I don't love them because it's kind of repetitive. Neil has a tendency, I feel like, to either use the title of the song in the lyrics a lot. You can also see this in Half the World, or not at all. So here, the word driven is used a lot, but it's not bad. It's basically using driving as a metaphor for life and the obstacles, the ups and downs that are going to come with it. And I think that's fine because there are ups and downs that come with being on the road in general. So it's a relatable sort of metaphor, and I get that. I'm not gonna say crazy for these lyrics. They're inspiring me to do anything insane like some other songs, but it's pretty good. I know that Neil used traditional grip for most of Test for Echo. For those who don't play drums, it is when your left hand is sort of hitting like this, which makes for a less powerful snare whack. And I heard that in the song. Something that I did love about Neil's drumming was you could hear that snare drum being beaten to death, and then he hits it definitely softer on this song, and that's definitely has to do with his training with Freddie Gruber prior to this album. So I would have liked to hear a little bit more power in his playing, but the bass parts, the guitar parts are still great. In terms of live versions, I listened to both Different Stages and Rio. Different Stages didn't do it for me. It just didn't. To me, it just sounded like the original, but less clean. So no thanks. Rio, though, that version I thought was pretty sick. Not that I've never listened to it before, but it's the first time I've really given it like a real chance. Getty's extended bass break, the crowd. It just sounded really on. Also, very slightly faster. So it sounded more driving. Well, what do you know? Driven is more driving. So overall, I would say this is maybe I'd probably put it number 3 on my Stick It Out songs. Vapor Trail, far and away first. And then it's pretty close to Making Memories, but I think overall I might even be more in the mood for Making Memories most of the time. And then I have Driven right over here, and then Necromancer a little more down. Sorry, Eric. So overall, sure, it raised for me from like a 4 out of 10 to a 5.8 out of 10.
Generous.
You don't like competition, but yet you love bravado. I'm still trying to figure out. Very anaphoric writing.
They're not the same.
Anaphoric writing. What do we learn this week? But anyway, okay.
Thank you very much, Tal. Paul, what do you got for us?
Xanadu.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, bad news for me, good news for Eric. It is far and away my favorite song that came from my list. It's I would say it's not even close, but with Cygnus X1, Book 1, Natural Science, it's prestigious list. But no, it is definitely my favorite. The bad news for me is the fact that I mentioned last episode about how the memes bug me. I figured out why. Listen to the song way more than 20 times. Thanks to our buddy Stick Hits, Jesse. That Live in Montreal remaster is beautiful. Like the Live in YYZ version. He also had some Presto footage on there, I found, where it goes from Xanadu to YYZ to
Drum solo.
Neil Solo. That was great. R40, I really liked. I thought that was really, I felt it more now that I love the song. R30 was my favorite, and I'm not sure why. I thought it was very clean, very just, that's the one that really grabbed me. I was like, wow. I think mostly because of Alex's playing. Not that it's deficient on any of the other recordings, but there was just something about it. Like I just felt like Alex had a chance to really, really, really shine. And what I did, among other things, as I normally do, is I studied not just the lyrics, but I went back to the poem and read up on the history of Kubla Khan, all that. And this is why I said bad news for me, because I do remember reading Kubla Khan when I was 12, when I was really into Maiden, and Power Slave had come out in '84. And I was such a big fan of Rhyme Nation Mariner. So I'm like, I'm going to read some more Coleridge, 12-year-old that I was. And I read Kubla Khan, and something I didn't mind it, but it didn't have a Maiden song behind it, so I wasn't as into it. But the more I researched for this and read up on it, and I was reading some of the translations, and it's highly debated. Long story longer, since it was an unfinished poem, there's a lot of disagreement as far as some of the translations. So understanding that when Neil writes Xanadu, it's his interpretation of it and all that. If I see one more meme about Honeydew in the Milk of Paradise, everyone has their own interpretation. That is a very, very foreboding and awful passage, and it ends on that. Why is that something people are striving for? So sorry, that's the nerd, the academic nerd in me is always going to have an issue with that. But that's why and now I figured out why that bugs me so much, and it's probably going to bug me even more. Sort of like a friend of ours with seeing the 2112 shots everywhere. It drives him nuts. It's the same thing with me with Xanadu. But that being said, musically, I absolutely love it. Eric, you picked an amazing song to be your favorite. I don't see The Garden ever getting bumped in my my favorites, but it would take a song like Xanadu. So I'll give you that. It was great.
That's great to hear. For full clarity, The Garden is my personal favorite song, and it has been for a long time. I just think Xanadu is the best song, so it's number 2 on my personal favorites list.
Gotcha.
Either way, great news. It's the best news I've heard all day, so glad to hear it, Paul. Let's see. I had Alien Shore, which is why I'm wearing the hat. That's right, Alien Shore,
Right.
off of Counterparts. I listened to it few times past 2 weeks, but a ton today. Like I kind of procrastinated on this one a little bit, not going to lie. But the number one thing that entered my brain was, this sounds like you could take it off of Counterparts, drop it into Test for Echo, and probably not realize that it was out of place on Test for Echo. Now, that being said, coming from me, I would put it as one of my favorites off of Test for Echo if that were the case. Now, what does that mean? It means I'd still probably bottom 3 or 4 on Counterparts for me. It's not my favorite. A lot of the verse instrumentation it's neat. It's different. Just wasn't my thing. I really liked the instrumentation through the chorus and through the solo. Thought all that was really cool. But the one thing that I just couldn't put my mind past, and is why I think it would fit in so well on Test for Echo, is the lyrics seem really clunky to me. And it's weird because Neil has tackled a lot of serious or difficult or whatever subjects in very elegant ways, even if they're in your face. Like I think of The Pass and Red Tide as two, there's no making fun with those. Like they're very serious. They're in your face about what they're about, but the way the words are laid out, the way they go together, it's very elegant. That flows nicely. I don't think that's the case with Alien Shore. Regardless of what the message is, I think it's just kind of awkward and clunky the way that they're delivered. And I don't know if that's a melody thing or if that's just a composition of the words. That's just my impression of it. And so that kind of held me back from really getting into the song much more than I did because I had to focus on the instrumentation, and where that wasn't as, my favorite parts, then I had nothing there. I will say, Ryan made sure to tell me that I had to pay attention to the bass. Bass was super funky throughout, especially at the end, just insane. I knew kind of in the back of my head, oh yeah, Alien Shore is a funky bass, kind of cool. Now that I've listened to it a bunch of times, it's a funky bass. Like, whoo, he gets moving on it. So I'll say I like Alien Shore a little bit more. Definitely did not move far up my list. Overall, I would say it's about the same. Maybe if we're doing the out of 10, I'd say it was a 4 out of 10 before. It might be a 4.5 out of 10 now. So not too big of a difference, unfortunately.
That's better than a 2 out of 10.
It's right. It's right. It's not did not give me Green Day vibes this time. Maybe other songs will. Once we get to Test for Echo, I'll talk about Green Day. But that's all I had to say about Alien Shore. It is time to spin the wheel. Now we're going to spin the wheel a little bit differently since we only have one song left. So everyone is going to stick it out with their last song. They're also going to get an additional song just for fun because we have had so much fun doing this. So we're going to have 2 songs to stick it out with for the next 2 weeks. And the wheel we're going to be spinning is going to have all 4 of our names on it. Whoever it lands on has to tell that person what song they're going to add to their stick it out list. Are we clear? I hope that wasn't too many words for a simple idea. We'll find out. Rob is first. And your song is, remind us, what's your last song?
My last song is
Bravest Face, wasn't it?
Bravest Face is the last one.
Gotcha. So you have Bravest Face plus 1 song to be chosen.
The way the
I hope you're prepared, Paul.
I knew it. The one person I didn't have in a song immediately jumped to mind with. What were the other songs for remind me of your other songs? Superconductor. Yes. Superconductor.
Yes. Nobody's Hero, Dog Years, Superconductor, Spindrift, and the last song is Bravest Face.
I'm trying to think of something you might not be into as a trick.
Mr. Soul.
Yeah.
Stack songs. So forget about that.
How do you feel about Armor and Sword?
Yeah. I like that tune.
There's the pick. Spindrift and Armor and Sword are my 2 favorite of Snakes and Arrows. If that earned an that is definitely your song. Cool.
I got 3 from Snakes and Arrows. Okay.
How about that?
Armor and Sword. Okay.
Any thoughts on Bravest Face or Armor and Sword for us, Rob?
I did a write-up on Armor and Sword, referencing Alex's harmonics in that song for the Spotlight Saturday a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely like what in terms of production on that song, what they were going for with that, So it'd be good to go back and revisit, the drum bits on that tune, and the guitar parts too. So
cool.
Yeah.
I think it won't be as painless. I think it'd be good.
Yeah, that's a Heavy Rush song that, like, there's a theme here that where I say I don't like most Heavy Rush songs. Well, that is one that I do like because I think, unlike Driven, it is so various and diverse, and some parts really hit me in the feels. Like, I don't want you to think that I just don't like any Rush song that resembles metal or hard rock or anything. It's just they have to do it right, And I think on Armor and Sword they do it right. So this will be a great song for you, Rob.
That's why I dug Spindrift, because it kind of gradually gets meaty, beefy, so it doesn't hit you right away. So yeah.
All right. Tal, what's your last song?
Also on Snakes and Arrows, believe it or not. We Hold On.
What is the deal? Why does nobody like Snakes and Arrows?
I like it. Just
yeah, sure.
Songs never got to me.
Sure. All right, let's spin the wheel, see what your second song is going to be.
The snakes in there with the child.
Oh,
Not to leave 1,000 cuts.
Voice of an angel. Listen to that.
All right, Paul. I
This
want
really
to
made my night. Okay, so I know what Tal loves. So what's something he wouldn't love? All right. What debut and songs did you have? Anything off debut?
I had nothing on the debut, but anything would fit because I don't care for that album one bit.
Right.
here again, here again, here again, here again.
Yeah, actually, here again. It was between that or just sticking as early as I could in the end. But no, here again.
All right. I'll do here again.
So thoughts on We Hold On or Here Again?
Yeah, well, We Hold On. A few months back, I listened to it a couple times. I don't remember why. Oh, I remember why. Because of the closing track Survivor on Reddit. And that song was one of the and sometimes when I voted, I wanted to make sure I was familiar with the song, and I put on We Hold On. I thought it was okay, but just weird. To me, like the intro sounds too much like country music for Rush. Just then it just didn't hit me right. And then later it's just like to me, it's just like unreasonably heavy, sort of like driven. But it one thing that I like a lot about it is Getty's double tracked vocals, the harmonies there. You can see that a lot on Snakes and Arrows. He does that. That adds, like I said, that complexity, the layering, which I like in the more modern Rush songs. So it's good. I'm excited for it. Here again, I can't remember. Is that the 7-minute one or is before and after the 7-minute one?
Here again.
Oh, lovely. I won't cheat though. I'll listen to both 20 times. But I once again barely remember it. Listened to it before. I know I have, but I can't remember how it goes right off the top of my head. I just know that it's, back when Getty wrote the lyrics and back when there were no, I was hosting a Bravado roundtable yesterday. I was talking about Neil's innovative drum beat towards the end. And with Rutsy's parts, not that he was a bad drummer, he wasn't, but they sound more like a generic rock band, I feel like, in the debut. So it's not going to come off as very rushy to me. But we'll see how it goes. People like Here Again, I know that. So I'm looking forward to it still.
I absolutely love Here Again. I think it is phenomenal. I think most people would agree it's probably the best set of lyrics on the debut album, or at least the most interesting. I mean, maybe you would say Working Man's the best set of lyrics, but Here Again is probably the most interesting set of lyrics. And I know you're a drummer, not a guitar player. The guitar is awesome on Here Again, and you have to listen to the Agora Ballroom
Oh yes,
performance.
the best I can from that show, right?
Yeah, yeah. The Agora Ballroom is just everything about that performance is awesome. Here Again is awesome on that performance. So
Will do.
sure.
I will listen to it.
Paul, what's your song?
2112.
Oh, lucky you.
So if someone picks something for me, don't make it long.
I was just about to do Fountain of Lamneth. Come on.
Right.
All right.
Hit me with the best shot, but don't make it a long one. I want to give this all I can.
Will do.
Paul,
No way.
Very nice.
I need to shuffle this list.
Magic right there.
I even know what I want to pick for myself. I want to pick Necromancer.
Oh.
What?
Really?
Wow.
When I
Just
made
a long
the
song.
That's a, yeah.
I know, but I've got a little bit of an advantage. Not much, but a little bit. Number one, I know the inspiration, so I don't have to do as much research. The inspiration for it. Secondly, when I make for our Instagram, I make promo reels for the shows. And when I made the one for the episode where Tal had Necromancer, I never gave it a second listen. I admit it. That's no shock. Paul has an old Rush song. What a shock. The hook I used in that promo reel, I couldn't get out of my head for about a week.
Oh yeah, your promo reels. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's on the Rush fans Instagram if you want to go looking for that. I really liked it. So I don't, but you said some specific things about the song, which made me wonder, ooh, will I like it? So this one isn't a guarantee. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I found a slice that I thought would fit timing wise into the 5 seconds I was allowed for the reel. And I went, okay, I'll use that. I like it. So I know there's a hook in there I'll like. It doesn't mean I like the rest of the song. So
Yeah, you're gonna hate it.
I might.
Kidding.
Yeah, but it's, and remember what I said about what I found as far as the way they recorded some of the old material. So the sound quality may drive me nuts. And are there even live versions out there?
I think there's a low quality, like very low quality bootleg.
Oh, good.
Like very low quality.
I'm gonna check right now. See if there's any on YouTube.
So
oh yes, there's a rare performance from 1975. I didn't even listen to it. Huh. Maybe I should have.
It's like if you could imagine recording something on audio equipment from 1975, also through a tin can string.
Yeah, I can
That's
pick.
probably what
Not sure that I'll put my love for it. So, yeah.
Thoughts on 2112 going in? Any thoughts?
I think I'm gonna appreciate it. I think I'll like live versions better. Like I said, we've already, that was the big revelation for me this season, was just the way they recorded the older material. I understand why it sounds a little bit dissonant to me, and I can get past that now. So to that degree, I'm glad I got Xanadu. I know we wanted me to have Xanadu for the final one, but actually I think it worked out better because I went into it with a clear mind. So, and then less jaded ear. So 2112, I think I'll like. I don't think it's going to make me forget how much I love the albums I love. I don't think it's going to, make me start looking for its appearance everywhere in public. But that being said, I'm pretty sure I'll like it. I tried reading Ayn Rand before and couldn't, so I think I'll appreciate the song more. So,
very cool. My last song is also off of 2112. It is Something for Nothing. One that I've never really cared for. Although, I mean, I said the same thing about Far Cry. I think Far Cry is probably right up there with Something for Nothing in terms of popularity among Rush fans. So if I said, wasn't a fan of Far Cry, maybe on the other end of Something for Nothing, I'll like it a bit more. But let's see what my second song will be. Paul gets to choose it.
this would be awesome.
No,
Get out of here.
I just wanted to be known. I shuffled this list 4 times before I put this screen back up, and 4 for 4. How about that, Paul?
Got that
And I know exactly what I want to give you. The album is a no-brainer. We know what well I'm going to. The problem is what song. I've got 2 in mind.
I hope you don't choose the 2 that I like.
I can't remember. What are the 2 you like?
They both start with a T.
That removes one of my choices.
Totem. Okay, good thing you like those songs because would have maybe committed murder.
Maybe it's the color of right, and he's throwing us off.
Oh,
my
right.
song for you is Virtuality.
Okay.
Because if you remember, I got a deeper appreciation for that song when I was listening to Dog Years. So I think there's merit. I'm not doing this purely to torture you. I think there's merit there. And I think you, especially if you did that kind of digging into it, I think you'd like it.
I think what you said is that you listened to the full album and that really made you get Dog Ears, right?
Yes.
So I guess that's what I'll have to do with Test for Echo for Virtuality.
Yes.
For full transparency, I did a deep dive on every single Test for Echo song, or Stick It Out, not a deep dive, a Stick It Out 2 years ago. It was in the summer of 2021. I did a Stick It Out with all of them. And there's only a handful of songs that really did anything for me after that. But since then, I've kind of, let it be. And I've got, Test for Echo and Totem are the 2 that I go back to frequently. And that's
I almost picked Time in Motion.
it's okay. I like it.
Okay.
I don't go to it, but I like it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
But Virtuality, I think, might have crept up a little bit after doing it, but not much. I'm interested to see Thanks, Paul. We'll see. We'll see. So
There's one. I do have one. I don't know if you call it a caveat or something. There is what I feel sound. What I used to believe. There we go. What I used to believe was a clunky line in it until I found out it was a throwback to something else.
the net
So maybe
girl line.
yeah. Do you know the reference?
I feel like you've said it before, and I'm forgetting what it is. But we'll figure it out. It'll be part of the research.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Who wants to take us out this time? Tal, you do it too much.
I'm
Rob.
not.
There you go, Paul.
Okay. Well,
I think
thank you
she's
very
having
much
few
for
left.
sticking it out with us this season so far. We hope that the final episode is going to be everything you want it to be and more. Twice the songs. So that being said, please like, subscribe, leave us a comment. Let us know what do you think about the songs we came up with and presented today. What do you think about the songs that we have to check out for next week? Leave us a comment, start a dialogue. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to talk with you in the comments.
You guys don't
And-
comment enough.
Thank you very
Take
much.
us up.
Catch you on the flippity flip.